Hi, what's up? What is up? We're back. Listen, we're back for another episode. It's been a hectic week for me. That's all I have to say. And there's a lot of stuff to discuss this week. This is going to be one of those episodes which is football heavy. We're going to try and think of some weird topics because it's been a while, Artem, since we went off the rails on this podcast. It has been a while. It has indeed been a while. But how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm back to work since Tuesday, which I was kind of dreading, but it's actually not been too bad. So I'm all good. Look, we need to get you some good Wi-Fi in there so you'll keep being able to do this.
You know what? I swear to God, I have thought about that question so many times. Ever since we started this podcast, I have thought about that. Like, it was at one point I was thinking like which of these colleges will suit me best for recording a podcast and so yeah, hopefully that isn't too much of an issue.
Well, I respect the fact that that's come into your mind because this is although this is something I enjoy doing every week. To make a decision based on the podcast is huge. So big up. I respect that.
But
And
you know what the thing is, right? It's weird, but I actually like all this shit does play sort of a pivotal role in my decision making because I have to think about like how am I going to manage Spartak with that. So I've thought about that quite a lot.
it's actually kind of funny because like whenever there's Champions League on or something, like you'll stay up to the same time as me, even though it's about 6 hours ahead where you
Yeah,
were,
exactly.
and then I'll
Yeah,
be
yeah.
up and I'll text you and you're up as well. So I've got to respect it.
Yeah, honestly. Time zones are, I know they're scientific and you can't really change them, but time zones are trash, honestly.
They are
Like
trash.
everybody should just have the same time. It
Yeah,
just should happen.
yeah, but
Um,
I kind of get it though. Like it would trip me out if it was like bright at 3 a.m. or something. Like it wouldn't be here because we're the center, but like you
it
know what I
would. No,
mean.
it definitely would. It's just annoying sometimes. It is.
Yeah, yeah.
But the RPL, we don't need to discuss anything here. It was another bad week for me. Um, so we're not going to discuss the Spartak game. We're just not. No, we're not. Take this away. Please get this away from me. Please don't do this to me. Um,
So talk to me.
no. I'm not going to talk to you. It was
Talk to
painful,
me.
man. It was
So
painful.
for those of you who didn't watch, Spartak went 1-0 up, 76th minute, as you can see up here. And soon after, Hanu's heart was broken. Once again.
Like it, yeah, it's been exactly once again. This is the sixth time this season, and it's been four games.
You're running out of
Um,
pieces to break. This is like, it's kind of hilarious, but it's also kind of really depressing.
yeah, no, for you it is hilarious. For you, it's
For me, it's
definitely
hilarious, but then
yeah,
it's
yeah,
also
yeah.
kind of like, damn, I wish Hanu was in a good mood sometimes.
Exactly. Now it's just me me grumpy and posting sad memes on all everywhere. It's just me like, no, but
It's that
I'm not
Stephen
expecting
Stephen
anything
A.
for
Smith,
tomorrow at all.
Stephen A. Smith up
It's
against the wall.
man,
That's you every day.
it every single day that's me. Every single day that's me. Like there is only pain at this point. It's like that meme which is like I expect nothing and I'm still disappointed.
Yeah.
It's like that. But let's hope things change. Um
What do you make of Ezekiel Pons? Obviously, he's scored the goal at the weekend, and he's the top scorer this year for Spartak this season so far. So, like, what do you make of him? Did you expect him to do as well as he's been doing, or is he just kind of I don't know flourishing under Ruvatore? He think he's probably the only one who is, but
yeah, I mean he is a good player. Let's not for like he had 10 goals, I think, last year as well. Um, so he is clearly a very good player. It's just that for some reason Larson gets more press because he did have more goals, and you know how it is. But yeah, I think it's because the others are slightly off form at the minute. He's the one stepping up. Um, so yeah, he's a really good player, man. He's a really good player. So I hope we figure out our tactics soon. We figure out a way to get all our attackers in a proper team and get the season back on track. Cause and this is we're getting out of Spartak now. Zenit also bottled. That was so great, by the way. It was so great seeing that we played like that, and we're still like the gap between us and Zenit is the same. That was great for me. But talk to me, Art.
yeah, I mean, You know, Malcolm's goal was really nice. I respect it. It was the
Yeah.
one Rakitsky centre back just
Oh, yeah.
over the top. Malcolm just had to take it down and put it in. Rakitsky was probably aiming for Zuba, but we take it anyway. It doesn't matter. But yeah, Zenit kind of bottled it in the end. Aguilarov scored. Aguilarov's been unbelievable this season.
Yeah.
No one even knew who he was at the start of the season, me included. So big up to him, but it's a shame to drop points, especially when like you look at the league table, and you know it is as close as it is at the moment. It's kind of interesting though because like I'm really happy Dynamo are up there. They're a really really good team. Zenit, they haven't lost a game lost a game yet. Neither of Loko, neither of Rubin, but it seems like everyone's dropping points. So you know, I kind of hope that it will continue that way. I kind of hope that this season will be an interesting one and we'll be able to see like a lot of juggling around between first and eighth or ninth place or whatever.
Yeah, but it's a bit worrying from the European perspective, isn't it? Because
Yeah, but like at the same time, like we're just
like
so shit in
I
Europe
would
already.
yeah, man, but I just want one good European season, man. Like I don't care if some team just steamrolls the league and we have like a boring ass season. But Europe, I just want one good season. Just one team, just make a run, do something, win, please.
Yeah,
But
well,
as a
I
Zenit fan, right?
yeah.
You go on, go on, go on.
No, I was actually gonna say like I kind of hope Zenit focus on Europe this season. I kind of hope Semak proves me wrong and actually does decent in Europe this season. I don't actually mind if we don't win the league this season, as long as it's not Spartak winning it. I wouldn't mind a little bit of change. I wouldn't mind Dynamo. I wouldn't mind like I'd love Rubin to win it to be honest. But like obviously, look, I want Zenit to win it, but I'm also not totally against other teams winning it because the more you win the league, like we've won it 3 times in a row at this point. If we win it a fourth time, it just starts to become a one-team league. I don't want that to happen. I'd rather see us have a bad season and keep the league interesting.
Yeah. To be fair, I think if Zenit win the league this season, if their current squad is what it is, like if they don't make any more signings,
Yeah,
then I think that's really worrying for the league because you'll agree with me. I hope you will. Zenit have not been that good this season.
I mean,
I mean, I know Spartak have been trash. It's clear, but even like XG and all of those stats, Zenit's numbers are a bit worrying. The squad depth we've talked about. The starting 11 on that game actually was really scary for Zenit. Like that was a very good team that they put out. It was what Karavayev, Rakitsky, Douglas,
yeah,
Claudinho, Malcolm, Barrios, and Wendell,
yeah.
and then Zuba and Yerokin. So just put Azmoun in place of Yerokin. That's a very good team.
No, it is a very
Yeah.
good team. Like I don't think I agree with you that the league is in trouble. Like why would the league be in trouble?
Because I feel like this 11 is very good, but Zenit's squad depth is non-existent. And I think they'll really struggle with juggling the European games and the league games. So, I
Well,
mean, yeah, that's
they've only got
something
to
I
juggle
think.
them for 6 weeks.
Yeah, but you know how it is. You know how it was under Mancini. They just lost. They were winning, and then their season died in that winter. Remember that shit?
Yeah, I
When then
remember.
it used to always bottle in the winter. That
Yeah,
was a
yeah, yeah.
thing for a good 3 years.
Yeah, well, look, like you said, the team looked really good. Like the Brazilians have been fantastic. I'm a big fan. Like I think if we had a better keeper than Kerzhakov in goals, there's not much I'd change. I feel like we have a lot there. Squad depth obviously is something that needs to be considered, but at the same time, I think we can pull it
Yeah,
off.
fair
Um,
enough. What else we got in the RPL?
Dynamo won against
Um,
Ural. CSK won
fair
against
enough.
Ahmad. Ahmad, after a couple of very good weeks, very poor performance. Had a
They're
red card and everything.
being Ahmad again. They're being Ahmad again. Yeah.
Karelia
See,
finally got their first win
um,
of the season against Sochi.
yeah, that was surprising. Lomayev had a really good game, didn't he?
Lomotiv had a really good game. Yeah, Sergeyev, the one with the goal, um, just fantastic all round. Lokomotiv against Krasnodar was a great game to watch. Smolov and Zhemoletin have just ripped through Krasnodar's defense, and then Lokomotiv made a very controversial post. Let's just say.
Okay, let's discuss that because
Okay, let's do it.
we want spice, okay?
Yeah, let's do it.
So, and everybody, there was not a single person that was like, you know what, this is a good tweet.
Yeah,
But I actually feel I'm not too mad at that tweet, man. It's like I'm okay with it, honestly. I get the reaction, but clubs have posted worse and gotten away with it. Like
yeah. For
I'm
anybody
really
who
not
doesn't
sure.
know what we're talking about, after the game against Krasnodar, Lokomotiv's Twitter posted out saying, "Pick the right colors," with like four pictures of uh, Krahoviak just on the ground being run past or whatever during the game. So that obviously was a dig at him leaving earlier in the month. So I personally thought it was a bit distasteful because he didn't leave disrespectfully. I think that, for example, in a case where a player has left disrespectfully and kind of been a prick, absolutely go for it. I think that's absolutely fucking hilarious. But he didn't do anything. He didn't do anything.
That's the thing, man. Because so the thing with him was that they basically told him that's what from what we've read in the news, right? That they told
Yeah,
him his contract would not be renewed
yeah,
at the end of it expires in next season, right?
yeah.
So and then he talked to them, didn't like that conversation. And then Ragnick like made a lot of approaches to him. He didn't care about any of that. Then he just left for Krasnodar. He didn't play in the team. He wasn't there for a couple of match days. He just left for Krasnodar. Then on his Facebook, he's saying that the new leaders at Loko aren't men. So I feel like it's warrant. It's maybe not warranted,
It's not
but
warranted. It's not warranted at all. Like you see the reaction from his teammates. Like even Rebus posted up being like, "Oh, admin, what you doing?" You know what I mean? Like he put that squiggly face. I don't know how to describe that face. If you have a
it is
way
a
to
squiggly
describe it,
face. Yeah,
yeah, it's
it's
the
the
face
squiggly
where the
face.
mouth is like.
Squiggle, yeah.
But yeah,
No,
like
but that must have been really embarrassing for the Loco admin, seeing Reverse post that. I would be mortified if like Jordan Larson came out and said something at a tweet of mine. Like I would leave. That
yeah,
would be really fucking scary. But
yeah, it was a big L,
then
and they deserved it to be honest. Like I don't think it was the deepest tweet. Like I think that there was some overreaction to it, but I do think that it was a bad tweet. It shouldn't have been put out in the first place.
yeah, that's fair. The good thing was that it took all the attention away from Spartak's game, all of it,
True, true.
all of it.
So at
And
least you
now
can take solace in that.
Pavel Mamayev is doing his whatever the fuck you whatever the hell he's doing. Nobel Rustamian left. So like for once there are other trending topics in Russian football. And it's
True.
nice.
And one other game that I do want to discuss is this before we move on. Hanu,
The Fraud finally getting his first win of the season.
his first win after 3 games. He's
Yeah.
got
First
four
win after three
points.
games.
4 points in 3 games.
15th in the league.
That's alright. You have to start somewhere. He's only three points away from Spartak. He's closer to Spartak than Spartak are to fourth place.
Okay. Congratulations, I guess. Mhm.
I'm just saying,
I,
Hanu. I'm just
that,
saying.
that, that's all I can really say. Um, but no, I'm not going to support Yuri Semin ever, ever.
Okay. Well,
He said no, he's saying nonsense about the limit now. He doesn't want it to go out. Like, come on.
we'll move on to that next. But I just want to say, this week, please, whoever is watching this, right? Thursday and Friday this week are going to be some of the best days in Russian football. Look at these fixtures. Every single game is super, super tough to call. Like, there's none of these games that you'd put your house on and say that team's going to win. Every single one of them is debatable.
And like, look at the game. Spartak Sochi fireworks for sure.
Yeah,
Zenit CSK fireworks for sure. Dynamo Loko fireworks. Krasnodar Rubin will be hilarious because neither can defend. So it's
exactly.
going to be fun.
It's going to be
It's going to
amazing.
be really really fun.
It's going to be a great, great week. I'm really looking forward to watching some of these games, and I hope they're going to be as interesting as we expect them to be. I feel like this week is going to be a really really bad week for everybody's fantasy football, whoever's playing, because like
Yeah.
your defender probably isn't keeping a clean sheet, no matter who they are. Like there's no one you could confidently put in and say they're going to get a clean sheet. But at the same time, like in these games, there could easily not be that many goals either. So there's no bankers. But
It's no
anyway,
banker.
we digress. And one of the biggest talking points of this week's RPL is that the league format may be changed to remove the foreigner limit. Something that me and Hanu have been talking about for at least 4 years now.
Yeah, I think everyone in the Russian football community, like it's the first words you say
Yeah,
as like are just limit needs to go away. So the final meeting is on the 31st, I believe. Um,
and
it's unlikely. Yeah,
it's a
it's
majority vote, right?
I think so.
Okay. And right now, the talk was originally just to get rid of it altogether, and now the talk is that it's going to be 10 plus 15, 10 foreigners, 15 Russians, which
Yeah,
would be fine, which isn't actually too bad. Like, look, it still means there's always going to be one Russian player on the pitch, but that's also
yeah,
not too restrictive. That's not something that's going to really make a massive difference to this league. So
yeah, I'm cool with it. Um,
it's
I'm
better
cool
than
with
what we
it.
have now, anyway. It's much better than what
Yeah.
we have.
But
So
fam, that's the thing. The clubs in this league are so idiotic. Half of them don't even want that to happen. Pull up that chart that was there.
let's go. Let's do this. Right. So this is what's going on. Right. So CSK, they have openly said that they're against it. Right. All these other
Respect
ones,
all the green people. Respect
all
all the green people.
all the green people are their insides. So take it with a pinch of salt. Probably all correct, but there's no guarantees. We won't know. Lokomotiv still haven't given out their position. Neither of Himki. Um, Rostov. Actually, I'll name out those teams for anybody who's not watching the screen. So Dynamo, Zenit, Rubin, Sochi, CSK, and Krasnodar are all for getting rid of the limit. There are a few teams who are kind of in the
On
middle.
the edge.
Yeah, and that's Spartak who wanted to be basically eased, which I assume is 10 plus 15.
So
Um,
we're favoring it, I guess. So like we'll vote yes.
yeah, Rostov and Arsenal Tula are in the same boat. They want that same thing. They don't want it completely gone, but they want it to be, you know, eased at least. And then Nizhny Novgorod and Akhmat said that they wanted to be eventually taken out. So kind of, you know, bit by bit. Which, to be fair, it would be a shit show if they just went, okay, here we go, it's gone, whatever. So
That'd be hilarious.
I can kind of get that as well. And the teams that are against it are Krylia, which disappoints me so much, Ufa, which also disappoints me so much, and Ural, something that kind of is expected, to be honest.
Ural need to liquidate, bro, please.
I
Please.
knew you were going to say that.
Nobody's gonna miss them. Nobody is going to. They catfished me by signing all those nice young players, but they are the deadest team in Russia by far. Like nothing about them is good. Honestly, nothing about. I know Andrew Flint's going to be listening. He's going to be sad, but go away. Ufa, you know what? Ufa, I think they'll vote yes in the resolution.
I don't think they
I
will.
think Ufa.
The way,
I don't think
like, UFA's business model relies on the limit. They
that's true.
bring through a
He's
lot
lying
of
to
Russian young players who would who would command inflated prices with the limit in place. If UFA were to produce talented youngsters, talented Russian players who, okay, they're good enough to play in the league, but they're not better than a foreigner that you can get cheaper, they're gonna struggle.
Yeah.
They're gonna have a bad time. So I can kind of get it from that perspective. Same kind of with Krylia, that's not been their model of at the moment. But like let's say Sobolev, right? Would he have commanded 5 million if there was no limit? Maybe not.
Probably.
Maybe not. I wouldn't be 100% sure. But
Mm.
like you can, the thing is like, although 5 million isn't that much in today's football market, you can always find a good bargain. So it just if you can look in the right place. Whereas if you know that you have to have a certain amount of Russians, there's no point in gambling. There's no point in rolling the dice and seeing if you can get someone better for that price.
Yeah. You know what? The more you say, Ufa's saying no makes sense because Ufa's Russian recruitment is great,
Yeah,
but in terms of resale, in generally, I guess Ufa do a very bad job historically of recruiting foreigners.
yeah.
Because who actually succeeded? Igboon went to Dinamo. That's like the only sale I can think of. Apart from that, Lovro was bad.
I mean, like,
Vombergar was bad.
if you're
Like,
counting Zinchenko or not, like as foreign.
yeah, make sure he counts. He has to count.
Yeah,
You know what? I just had an epiphany. Casentura is the Angolan Zinchenko.
yeah, maybe.
He
It, they
basically,
could they kind of have a similar story, I guess. And yeah, like Casantora is just he's been fantastic this season, and I think that there's definitely potential for him to go forward. Maybe not the City, but definitely up the league
imagine
at
that.
least. But for those who don't know, Zinchenko's story was that he was let go by Shakhtar Donetsk. He ended up moving to Moscow to kind of further his football career. He played in the seven-a-side league in Moscow, I believe, or maybe the nine-a-side league. One of the leagues that wasn't 11-a-side anyway. It was like a amateur league in Moscow, and um, ended up going on trial with Ufa and doing well and proving himself there. Obviously became one of their better players, and then was scouted by Manchester City. And we all know how that's gone. We know how many Premier League titles he has. We know that he was in the Champions League final. We know how much he's achieved in his career. So like just respect. And Chasentura at the moment is in the same kind of position. He was studying in what's that city called again? I don't
It's
know. We,
a
we, we discussed it last week anyway.
yeah,
He was living in a small city in Russia just studying, and he played for a futsal league locally, and ended up kind of
record signing up. Yeah,
yeah kind of getting. I suppose like it's not really luck, but it kind of is luck as well. Like he ended up signing for Ufa, and now he's one of their more dangerous players. Like every time you watch Ufa, you see him, and you're like, he's gonna do a scoop turn through that player's legs.
yeah. I love players like that. I love players that just come through to cause chaos. Um,
Yeah,
but the Zinchenko story is hilarious because like one of those meme pages uses it as a meme. So for everything they say, in 2016, Zinchenko was playing LFL football. Like for everything, because people say that so much. It's like Pinyaev is 16. Everybody in every sentence you have to say Pinyaev is 16 and is in the RPL.
yeah,
People do that same thing for Zinchenko. So now it's just a meme. Say anything and is like, but did you know Zinchenko was playing LFL in 2016?
yeah. Do you know
So
it's one of these things that it should be a did you know kind of thing, and people should be like, whoa, what the fuck? Because it's been said so much, everybody knows.
exactly,
There's nobody who doesn't know that. Like there's no
exactly.
Russian speaker, or there's no one who follows the RPL who does not know that.
Yeah, that's true. So
But yeah, Hanu, we're
yeah,
both against the limit. We both want this
of course,
to go right. So
of course.
not much needs to be said elsewhere. I think everybody's going to agree with us. I know there's a couple of people who still want the limit to be around. I'm not totally against it being there in some shape or form, but I'd much rather it be a quota than a limit. I think limit even sounds bad. Like have a quota on how many youngsters you have to have from your youth academy in the squad or something like that. That's way better
Definitely.
than stopping the free essentially what is and should be a free market. But
Yes.
um, we
Talking
move
about the free market,
go on. Oh, transfers.
we are, yeah, exactly.
Nice.
That's the free market.
Perfect.
And Yeah, we got loads of them. Gareth Bale is
Uh,
actually late.
G Bale has signed for Krilia. G Bale. So not Garrett, but Glenn. And for some reason, like it translates like this in English, B A L E, like Gareth Bale, but his name is
Yeah.
actually spelled Bijl. So not even close. I actually like when I saw Glenn Bale signed for Creeley, I was like, no fucking way. I'm looking this guy up. He must be English or Welsh or something. He's not.
Exactly. Like this news broke like 2 weeks ago, and like that in Cyrillic it said Glenn Bale, and I thought like, this guy plays for Swansea or some shit.
Yeah,
He's like a League One player, and clearly are just taking a chance on it.
that's exactly what
But
I thought. Yeah, and
yeah, but no,
turns out
he's
he's
a
not.
Dutchman.
He's a Dutchman, and he played for Emmen for the longest time. So look, we like when players from countries you wouldn't usually see come to the RPL. Obviously, look, we have the bigger players from these countries like Quincy Promise in the league and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
we like to see the smaller ones too. That's cool. So, respect. Don't know what to say to him. Next transfer news: Lyon have bid 11 million euros for Azmoun. If
What do you think? Do you think it's gonna happen?
I think it's bullshit. I think there's no way. Well, maybe they bid that, but there's no way that Zenit let him go for 11 million. If they already have an offer on the table from Bayer for 18 million, which they rejected, even if they get desperate, surely they just go back to Bayer and say 15 million, take him.
Yeah.
Azmoun does not leave Zenit for less than 15 million. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, fair enough.
I
I
think
can't
50,
disagree.
I think 15 million or more is fair. The fact that he's only got 1 year left on his contract. But Hanu, this isn't actually on this. We don't have it on the tabs, and it's not even Russian football. But Mbappe, 1 year left on his contract, 160
Yeah.
million. Is it worth?
No, it's not. If
Okay.
if if I if I so the thing is we have not spent money on any player in two transfer windows now, two
Yeah.
summer transfer windows. So I'm just so desperate for a signing that obviously I'll be very excited when he joins.
Yeah.
But for the type of money that's being touted, I think the team needs more. I think the team needs more because attackers wise, we have a lot of players. A lot of them are high potential players, and his contract is up next season. He's the world's biggest Real Madrid fan. It will happen at some point, right?
Yeah.
And like Vinicius scored two at the weekend. He scored one before that. He's finally looking like he's a complete player. And you've seen Vinicius when he actually wants to be serious. He's really good. Like you would not miss Mbappe if just Vinicius was playing on the left wing. But so I feel like
That is
I would
huge.
no, you wouldn't. You would not. When Vinicius, the thing with Vinicius is his dribbling is insane, among the best in the world, causes insane degrees of mayhem, but he cannot shoot to save his life. He cannot shoot the ball, cannot score to save his life. If he finally figures out how to do that, then, and I hope, please, God, I hope I don't jinx this because my jinx game has been on fire recently. But like, yeah, he can be a very, very valuable asset for us. I'd personally buy like a couple of midfielders, a defender or something, um, for that much money. What about you?
I don't think he's worth it for 160 million and 1 year left on his contract. Like you said, he's a Madrid fan. He wants to go there. If he wants to go there so much, he'll want to go there again next summer. I waited out for the
Yeah.
year and save ourselves so much money. Sure, we can win a league. We can challenge for the Champions League. Like, sure, we can make a bit of money here and there if he plays well, but like, 160 million is just ridiculous.
Yeah, and you know what? This is slightly off topic, right? But do you know the Bosman ruling
Yeah,
in football, right? So,
yeah,
for those who don't know, 1995, there was this dude called Mark Bosman. His contract expired, and he basically said, I want to change my club. I want to leave. I have the autonomy to join another club, which is what we see when a player becomes a free agent, right? But his club was like, you can't do that, right? Um, and it went to like the European courts, and it was said that once his contract is expired, under free movement laws or whatever, you're just free to go wherever you want. But now, because of the free transfers we've seen this year specifically, right? A lot of people are mad at the fact that clubs can buy players and then players can just run down their contract and leave.
I mean,
And I
that's how
personally
contracts
don't
work.
exactly what I'm saying. And personally, I don't get the outrage because people think it's some like gross injustice to the club. But if you look at all the high profile examples, Aguero left on his own volition. City didn't want him anymore. That's fine. Wijnaldum was the same. Sergio Ramos, we offered him a contract. He just said no. And we said, okay, fine, go away. Barcelona don't have enough money to keep Messi. So I don't get what the fuss is all about. I don't think it's like an injustice to the clubs.
I don't think so at all. Like, and
Yeah,
it's one of these things where like, you know the length of the contract. You're the ones
yeah,
that signed it. You're the ones that created the contract. If there's 2 years left to go, and you don't think the player's gonna sign, you try and sell it.
exactly.
If you want some money back, if you want any sort of money back, you try and sell. If the player wants to stay, okay, sign a new contract. It's really like it's very simple, and players are running down contracts now, and I think that this is one of the reasons because they see how much money is being spent on transfers, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, someone's after paying 100 million for me, and I'm getting how much? You know what I mean? Like, even though
Yeah.
a player could be getting like, let's say 10, 15, 20 million euro a year, it doesn't matter, and a good signing bonus of a couple of million as well.
Yeah.
If you just take out the transfer fee, it's cheaper for the club signing you. They're going to be happier, and also you're going to get a big bonus for yourself as well
Absolutely.
for coming for free. I think it's a smart way that players are starting to get paid what they're worth, and not clubs getting paid for players for what they're worth. I think it's just a progression of football. And I think it's going to happen more and more.
Yeah, for sure. Some people put forward the argument that it gives power to agents, and I don't really understand that. Like agents render a service that is sought after.
Yeah,
They're not just, it's like if the market says it, then the agents do that shit. And I don't understand what the alternative to that is. Like if your contract expires and you can't leave, that's surely like a violation of mad laws,
yeah.
mad actual laws, right? So yeah, I don't know why people are fussed about that, but that was our little tangent.
A lot of people
Sport.
hate on agents. A lot of people hate on agents, and they say like, "Oh, they're just scum and they're middlemen and all this stuff." But like you said, it's a sought after thing. Like at the end of the days, at the end of the day, so many players don't want to negotiate for themselves. Like a player could be the best player in the world. It could be Messi, and if you put him in a boardroom negotiating with people who negotiate for a living, he's not going to do very well. You need someone
Yeah, it's not.
who's able to do this, and like a lot of players hire their family, and then later on in their career, their family like will get sacked or stop providing them
Yeah,
services. It's the same thing with
exactly.
what just happened with Harry Kane. I think it was his brother or something like that, or maybe his uncle or someone in his family, anyways, being his agent, and now he's gotten a new one. Like it gets
Yeah,
to a certain stage where you just need a professional.
you do. You definitely, and then some agent are scum, by the way. There's lots of dodgy agents. There's lots of scummy ones. Some of them are just outright criminals. Some of them are just an unethical businessmen. But overall, I think it's a stretch to say that the entire field of agency is, bad.
Well, it's
So,
like it's everyone working in sales. Like you think about like real estate agents, car salesmen, and stuff like that. Like sure, you get the slimy ones, and they're the ones that people think about when you mention the job.
yeah,
But then you also have a huge amount of professionals who are actually just doing their work and actually providing value for people and not just taking money here and there. You know. So
exactly. Yeah, that is true.
it is what it is.
Um,
But
is what it is.
we'll
It
move
is
on
what it is.
to the next transfer, which is that Pinyaev is still in the shortlist for Manchester United. It's
Yeah,
not really a
this
surprise,
is a
massively.
mini bite of information. Um, so yeah. Do you think he'll ever end up at United?
Um, no. You?
I don't know. I mean, what 2 years, right? He needs to play in the RPL for 2 years.
Yeah, I think if he moves to United, it'll be an Odegaard at Real Madrid scenario. That's the way I look at it because,
Yeah.
like you said, he needs to play for a few years before he can prove himself. There's 2 years until he can even move to the Premier League, so it depends obviously on a
Yeah.
lot that's going to happen over the next 2 years. But I think over the next 2 years, the way United are going, like if you'd have said to me back when he was 14, United are signing him, I would have been like, absolutely, that makes sense because that's the kind of route that United were going for at that point. But now United aren't going for that route anymore. They're signing really, really, really high class players. Like they're signing Sancho. You know, obviously they signed Cavani last season, but they still signed them. Like they're going for people who have a profile already. They're no longer going for players who can be good in 5 years' time. They're going for players who
Yeah.
can be good this season. They're pushing for the title. So while they're in that, um, while their plan is to do that, I don't think he's going to sign.
Yeah, that's fair. I agree. I don't have anything to disagree with that.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea signed him.
Yeah. I wouldn't either. That's fair.
I think it's
That's
one of
very fair.
these things where if Pinyaev does has a good couple of good seasons in Russia, Abramovich is going to look at him and be like, "That's how I'm going to get people to support Chelsea in Russia. Pinyaev,
Yeah.
if you come over here, we'll sort you out." Maybe he gets sent out on loan a couple of times, whatever. But at the end of the day, he's still a Chelsea player.
Yeah. That's the risk, isn't it, with United and Chelsea?
Yeah,
So he's gonna keep getting loaned out. That's not good.
yeah. Although
Yeah.
saying that, Pinyaev could well have the talent in 2 years to go to one of them teams. Like, although he hasn't played much this season, like, obviously expectedly, like you're not expecting him to come in and start for Korea, but like he's done well. Like when he's been on, you can clearly see he has talent, and it's just about nurturing that for the next couple of years.
Okay, here's a question, right? We
Yeah,
will not know the answer to this in at least like it'll take 10 years. Who will have the better career, Zakharyan or Pinyaev? Tough one, isn't it?
Zakharyan, and
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
the reason I think so is because he has less on his shoulders. He came onto the scene and then was highly rated. Pinyaev was highly
Yeah,
rated before he came onto the scene.
that's true.
Like when Zakharyan came in for he scored in his debut, didn't he?
Yeah, something like that.
Something stupid. Like it was one of his first games, and he scored a goal, and like you could clearly see that this kid has talent and stuff. It's like he's been hidden away. It's like he's a lion in a cage, and he's just been released. Like he just burst
Yeah.
onto the scene. Whereas Pinyaev is the guy who was like played well against 16-year-olds, played well against 18-year-olds, played decent against seniors at the second level.
Yeah.
He's not bursting onto the scene. Like he's kind of gradually progressing, and I think for that reason, there's a lot more expectation on him,
Uh,
which may be difficult for him. But saying that, because he's already got a profile, maybe it'll be easier for him to find moves in the future. So it's a difficult one. I hope they both have amazing careers. I hope that they both light up
Yeah,
the Russian national team as well someday. But I'm gonna say right now, Zakharyan.
yeah, that's fair. I agree. Speaking of wonder kids, and then we'll get off this. CSK apparently have like a guy that scored. What's his name? Was it Gladysher? No, it was not Gladysher. It was some striker CSK have. He scored the second goal against Rostov. I think his second ever senior appearance. So maybe that's one dude to keep an eye on.
What's this? This
Um,
isn't the guy who scored at the weekend, is it? Yakovlev.
it is, yeah. Oh, Yakovlev. It is Yakovlev, yeah.
Yeah,
That's exactly what I'm talking about. I forgot his name.
yeah.
And
He looks good as well.
but yeah, him. Yeah.
We may as well talk about the other youngster transfer if I can find it somewhere here. Here we go. You got to take this
This
one. I
guy,
don't know anything about this guy.
I won't pretend to be an expert on the Chelsea youth academy system, but from what I've read, from the hype I see, this dude is supposed to be one of the best players in the Chelsea youth system. Okay, and that's a very good youth system that they have over there. I
Yeah.
think it's the Broja fella, that striker they have, and it's this dude. So the fact that Lokomotiv, even if it's a loan, might get this guy. First of all, it's an English player in the RPL. Already a dub. That's
That's
already a
huge.
win.
Huge.
Already a win. Um, so it's massive, man. Like Rangnick and Zone, we gave them a lot of bad press for the shit they were trying to pull towards the start of the season. But they're getting serious, it seems like. They signed Becca, by the way. RFN broke
Did
that exclusive.
it didn't take long. Like Hanu, you were giving them shit. I was
I
saying
was.
let's give
I
them
was.
time. And I said let's give them time. Always said this the whole time. And I still
No, I
think it's
said.
too early to judge them. I think it's going to take 2 seasons for us to actually be able to judge them. I'm not going to judge them until then. Unless they win the league this season, then I will judge them and say they're class.
Yeah. If they do win the league this season, guess who predicted them to win the league this season? You. So
You,
I'll
but last season. Your prediction this
still
season
count.
was. No, it doesn't.
No, no, it
No, it
still
doesn't.
counts.
It doesn't.
It
That's like
still
me saying, "Oh yeah, like this week I'm gonna say Rostov's gonna win the league. Next week I'm gonna say Krylia." Like in 16 weeks,
No,
I've predicted every
no.
team.
I've always said Logo and Spartak for top two though. It was like I even in my WTI prediction, I was like, I don't know, this is going to be close. Um, but yeah, keeping that aside, thing with this, right? Thing why this could be so pivotal is that this loan move will have a lot of eyes on it. A
Yeah,
lot of people will cover it, and if it goes well, then Russia could seriously become like the Netherlands or the Bundesliga and become a place which the mainstream accepts to be a place for young players to grow. And that would be groundbreaking.
that would be really fun as well.
Yeah, that would be really fun. That'd be groundbreaking. And yeah, man, I hope the guy I hope the guy does really well, except against Spartak. But
Yeah,
we don't know where he's gonna play
if they can get
because they
him
had yeah.
alongside Becca, that's gonna be fun. Like I said, I don't know much about Becca either, but he seems like he's a good signing, so I'm looking forward to watching him.
Yeah. For
But
sure.
there are a couple more signings we want to discuss. One, I don't know who this is.
Yeah. So rumors are going about. They're saying that Maximiliano Caufriez, or I don't know how to say his name, defender from Sint-Truiden in Belgium, he's going to join Spartak. Um, he plays at right back. He plays at center back. I don't know if this is true. I don't know exactly where he is going to play. A lot of discontent, a lot of a befuddlement. That's a word on Twitter around his transfer. Not many people seem to have that high of an opinion when it comes to him. Um, I did do an FM save with this club. I played one season with them, and he was okay in it. He was pretty good. So I'm gonna say that if he joins, he'll be fine. Not saying he's going to be the next Nemanja Vidic, the next Rikia, but I think he'll be okay. So yeah,
I like how
what do
you
you?
put Chikia and Vidic in the same category. Respect.
Yeah, they're like the two. By the way, right? I think David put out the tweet, or someone from RFN put out the tweet saying that Zigo was signed from Belgium and he's a Spartak legend. Do you think Zigo is a Spartak legend?
No,
No, right? No, right?
no,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
no. I don't.
He's
He's definitely not a legend. He needs to do more before he's considered. How long has he been there? 4 seasons.
3 years. 3 seasons. Yeah.
Like no way.
He's
Like
a fan favorite. Call him a
he,
fan favorite.
he wasn't even there when they won the league.
No, he wasn't. Yeah.
So no way, no way. Cult hero maybe, but that's not even. Like
Yeah, no,
I feel
quite
like
hero you can give it.
if in 5 years time, let's say he leaves now, in 5 years time, he'd be just one of those players that's I remember him.
Yeah.
That's
To
all
be
it's
fair,
gonna be.
Spartak do have like a knack of signing fairly unknown centre backs and making them serious, like Serdar Tashi,
Yeah.
Bukati. Jigo. So let's hope if this guy signs that he pans out as well.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed. But I don't have that much faith. This guy, Hanu, like at this point, I actually don't know any of these players that are moving to the Russian league. Like it's ridiculous because
We're
I
washed
feel
up.
like such a fraud.
Yeah, we are washed up. We don't know any of these people. We just go off vibes.
Seriously.
Um, so Anders Dreyer from Midtjylland. Man like Toke Thielade gave us a whole breakdown of this guy in the Artem chat, so shout out to him.
Oh, nice.
This
I
guy's
missed
got
that.
like really good stats, goals and stuff. Um, Seems like Khvicha is going to leave for some place, which isn't surprising. Um, and yeah, this guy's going to sign. And what do you think?
I have. Well, if Toka said he's good, I'm going to believe Toka. Toka, Toka never is wrong. So that's what I'm
Okay,
going to
he's never
say.
wrong. Toke is a legend in the scene.
He is. He's the OG in the scene, you might say.
Yeah, he is the OG, definitely the OG in the scene.
So
Um,
in terms of Khvicha, I think he's probably gonna. I don't know if the Spurs rumors are still about, but I think that they're the most likely to happen at this point.
yeah, that'd be fun.
It would be.
Jungmin Son,
It wouldn't be fun for
Lucas
David.
Moura. Yeah.
David will
For
be watching the watching Arsenal against Spurs, like crying every single time Khvicha runs past the player. He's like
yeah,
he doesn't
well,
know whether to cry cry happy or cry sad.
yeah, that'd be funny. That
Yeah.
would be really, really funny.
Manager transfer as well. Man like Kurban Berdyev.
This is my neck of the woods.
Yes.
These clubs, these institutions. So Berdyev has been in an advisory role at Kairat for like the past few months, and like I don't know why, but so their first manager was that like 32-year-old Belarusian dude, the next Tedesco. He left mid-season to join a second Bundesliga club. Then the assistant manager was really, really good, took them to the Champions League third qualifying round, beat Red Star Belgrade in the first leg, but then he got knocked out. So, and then he just left after that game. I don't know why he left, why you would leave after that game. I don't understand because you're still in the Europa League, you can still make the Conference League. So he left. So you're already on your third manager. That's the caretaker. Taken charge of a couple of games, and now you've got Berdiev. I don't know what to make of the move. Their squad is pretty strong. RPL fans might recognize Ricardo Alves from Orenburg. He's there now. Wagner Love still there, going strong, scoring loads of goals. Um, but yeah, it might be fun to keep track of.
Did you say
But
that
as you mean,
they're in the Europa? Yeah,
they're in the conference, and
they're
I
in the
think they have a
conference.
four. Yeah, they have a 4-1 lead in the second leg, so they'll get to the group stages hopefully.
Okay, right. I'm gonna say, Jesus, what's wrong with my voice just went shit all of a sudden. But anyway, I'm gonna say that they'll get out of their groups in that, and that they'll surprise a few people. I think that they're with Berdyev. He's kind of a European expert, so
Yes, that
should
is
be
true.
quite fun. Don't forget those
Yes.
games against Barcelona. Don't forget that game against
He is
Bayern Munich.
the master of shithousing European games.
Absolutely
So yeah,
unbelievable.
no, I'd be super chuffed if that happens. Like you already know, Kazakh football. It's my other obsession. So
Yeah, me too.
respect.
We
Yeah.
were on top of this stadium the other day, Hanu.
Oh my God, fam, that was one. That was like one of that was so good. So we were playing GeoGuessr and we're playing a Kazakhstan map, and we got dropped. We didn't know this was a thing. So we were just there was a level we were just hovering over Almaty, which was mad high up, and we could see the entire panorama of the city, the mountains, front above the stadium. All it was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. Um,
It was fun.
and then yeah, and then we did the level of drone pictures, and that was not fun.
No, no, absolutely. That was terrible. That was honestly like you can't tell where places are from above unless you know what city you're in. Like it's, it's ridiculous.
Maybe we should try drone camera cities. That might be something.
Okay, we can try that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay, let's move on to Tony Vilhena might be moving to Sampdoria. We talked about this. We talked about him leaving last week. Don't think much more needs to be said. Um, won't be a massive loss.
Did you watch Straight Outta Compton, the movie?
No.
All right. So, well, there's basically a scene in that where Ice Cube leaves his record label,
Mm-hmm.
and while he's leaving, he takes a baseball bat and breaks all like he completely fucks up the office record label. And if I was Tony Villan, I'd do the exact same thing at Krasnodar. This guy he had a bid from Inter Milan on the table. Inter Milan put in a bid for this player. That is God calling for you. Serie A champions are calling for you. You're not even that good in the RPL, right? And you have an agreement with Krasnodar, which says that if a good bid comes, we will let you go. And they reject it. And then Ren come in, rejects that as well. Sevilla are interested, Krasnodar say no. And then you end up going to Sampdoria. I would be truly upset. I would be depressed if that's what, like, come on, man. You wouldn't be upset if that happened to you? If
No.
Sampdoria
Well,
was your last resort?
when you put it that way, it's a lot worse than I remember the situation being. But yeah, that that's pretty rough.
I would be super, super sad, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Um,
Well, luckily it's not you.
yeah, luckily it's not me. Um, but yeah, Krasnodar are a mess, and that was my weekly Krasnodar rant. Vlasic looks way different in that pic.
He does. He is also signed for Chelsea.
He has. And this move will happen, I'm telling you right now.
West
I
Ham.
can feel it. Yeah, I
Vlasic to
can
West
feel it.
Ham.
I can feel it,
They'll
yeah.
end up signing some whoever is the equivalent of Jordan Hugill.
Oh, that was, man. Imagine Fedor Smolov under this Moyes team. Oh, that would have been.
It would have been tasty, but there's no point in even remembering now because they went for Jordan Hugill, which
Is is
ended up
is
being the
he?
worst signing ever.
Who thought that scout? I hope he got fired after that.
Honestly, like what the fuck was all of that? But yeah, West Ham Vlasic. Apparently, if Lingard doesn't sign, they'll get him. People are saying, well, like if they offered 30 million for Lingard, like they are for Vlasic, they'd get Lingard. But then a lot of other people are saying, well, why would you spend that much money on Lingard, who is like 29 at this point, where you can get Vlasic, who still has a ceiling that he can reach?
No, I think this will happen. Um,
I hope so.
and
That
I
would be
think
cool.
I think he'll do well there. He'll do well.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that would be a really good sign. It'd be fun to see him playing with Declan Rice and the boys and Suchek and them.
Yeah.
But I think that is actually the end of the transfer rumors. So, fantasy football.
I
We're
don't
gonna go
like this
through
league.
through the Alias Soccer League at the
Yeah,
moment.
the well, I'm sorry for pausing. I've just been sent a graphic of Christian Eriksen to Atletico Madrid. I don't know what that's all about.
What the fuck?
Um, maybe I'm just being played with,
They signed
but
Cunha as well, didn't they?
yeah, they did sign. I think they are. Um, yeah, I don't think Christian Eriksen. No, Christian Eriksen has not. Anton is sending me. Anton is just playing with me. Christian Eriksen has not signed for Atletico Madrid. So sorry for that little break.
Thanks, Fabrizio.
Um,
Anyway,
yeah,
move on. So the winners this week: A Dare to Dream, 1962 Cuban Crisis, Kaiserslautern, Torpedo Vladimir, Soup and Casper. Jesus, you got battered.
yeah.
Medved, Corino, of course, the boys. We beat Ilya at his own game. The first week that I've actually done well. and what a week to do it. We beat the Moscow Ederzitos. That's exactly what I wanted this week
You had
when I
a
got it.
great week, didn't you? You had an ideal week.
It was pretty much perfect. Pilmeni beat David, and Andrew lost. Oof, against the Russian Pre-Call League. That leaves the table looking like where the
Not good.
hell
Does
is it?
not
There we go.
table is not looking good.
Spartak India dead in the water. Me and David mid-table. Andrew Flint up here. Ilya cheated, by the way.
Yeah.
After we released last week's episode, he changed the table and put himself with 3 wins because apparently Cordoba got an assist.
Exactly. This is a top three most blatant match fixing like
Honestly, like
cases in
I've
history.
never seen anything like it. Never seen anything like it. But he now is in second place. I stole his lollipop off him this week. So,
Fair enough.
and in terms of the real league, this is what it's looking like. Me moving up to 8th finally. I started out in 14th, then I was 13th, then 12th, then 10th, and now I'm 8th. So moving up slowly, right behind Hanu, 4 points in it. So this week is going to be very fun. As you guys hear
Yeah.
this, the matches are today, so make sure
Yeah.
to get everything sorted out there. But I think that's pretty much it, isn't it, Hanu?
It is a quick
Oh,
episode, feels like.
wow,
But
it's actually been 59 minutes on the dot, pretty much.
oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah,
That's
well there
that's
you go.
pretty cool then.
Time flies when you're having fun. We could probably shit talk for a little bit more, but I'm kind of hungry.
Yeah. And I'm sleepy, kind of. So yeah, thanks a lot for listening. Thanks a lot for listening.
Ah, Hannah, come on,
Leave
a
a
bit of
like,
energy.
leave a like on YouTube. Leave a
Do the whole.
oh yeah, sorry, leave a like on YouTube. Okay, right. Let's
I
address this. Okay, whoever the fuck leaves those dislikes on our videos, okay, I will find you and I will make sure you suffer. Okay, and we have there are suspects. Okay, there are many suspects. The police are investigating it. But one day we will find out who dislike bombs our videos. It's not a robot. Like I don't know who would get robots to dislike us. There are people behind this and they will pay. So don't leave a dislike, leave a like, comment, interact, retweet on
No,
Twitter.
that's it. This week is a
Um,
dislike week. This week we are purposely trashing our own YouTube channel. Please leave a please leave a dislike. I'm naming this video dislike this video.
yeah,
Episode 53 dislike this video.
we are killing any
If
chances
we
that we
can
might
get
have had.
if we can get like look, you know what likes help us in the algorithm. So this week we're not going to have the algorithm on our side. We're going to have to push our video out ourselves. We're nuking ourselves. Get us to 10 dislikes minimum. Thanks.
Don't they like take you down if your dislike ratio is mad?
I don't think so.
Okay, then that's fine.
I never heard about that, but like can't imagine that
Yeah.
that's a thing.
So
Anyways,
yeah,
dislike. Absolutely dislike.
dislike.
Make a new account and dislike. Change your IP
So
address, use a VPN, whatever. Dislike this video. We want as many dislikes as possible. If we get to 10 dislikes, um, Hanu will wear a Zenit shirt next week.
oh, I don't know.
So
Maybe I will.
if you want to see Hanu wear a Zenit shirt next week, leave a dislike on this video. So see you all
I
later.
think they actually, yeah. Fair enough. Bye.